like a hostage. Yo, you should have covered your motherfucker.
Shown here is a Djenne Terracotta created between 700 AD and 1750 AD in the country of Mali. Many of these figures were dug up near Djenne in the inland delta region of the Niger River in Mali, Africa. These figures represented a very broad range of physical conditions and human emotions, therefore providing us with the largest amount of information about sacred gestures of any civilization in sub-Saharan Africa. The Djenne figures were made prominently from terracotta, but also from fired clay, therefore they have withstood time. This is because fired clay and terracotta did not deteriorate over time like other materials such as wood. While there are a few broken parts or missing pieces, there is enough intact for us to appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship. The cylindrical torso and limbs, oblong head set at an angle on the neck, bulging eyes, broad nose, large ears, and protecting mouth are all quite typical of the style. Decorative details on many of the terracottas include serpents, which are sewn as zigzags. Along with this, snakes many times occur in the visual arts as well as in the oral traditions of a lot of the peoples of the inland delta region. Snakes play an important part in the cosmology and mythical origins of many Niger clans. For example, snakes are often considered to be symbols of immortality throughout sub-Saharan Africa because they renew themselves by shedding their skin. Another animal figure that is oftentimes represented in Djenne terracottas are horses. In Mali, this represents political authority and political power. Many Djenne terracottas served maternity purposes. Maternity figures were relatively common in contemporary African art and refer to human fertility, abundance, or increase. The pose of a kneeling woman on her hands is commonly seen in the terracottas. It is suggested that the figure kneels in a pose of humility and respect, the same pose women assumed when they served a meal or a bowl of millet beer to their male relatives. Many of these terracottas depict subject matters such as equestrians, male and female couples, emaciated and deceased people with lesions and swellings, and snake-entwined figures. One of the most renowned Djenne terracottas is called Mother and Child. This statue depicts a seated mother holding her child, which is a fairly common subject in African art. This sculpture was carefully made in the Djenne style. The style is named after Djenne, which was the oldest city in sub-Saharan Africa. These sculptures typically depict religious beliefs and common oral tales in a visual form. In this terracotta made in the inland Niger Delta in Mali from 1000 to 1500 AD, the children that are climbing up the mother are actually adult figures, which can be pointed out by their proportions. The mother, therefore, seems to be a metaphorical mother. The next work that you will see from Djenne is renowned for its architectural elements.
Shown here is the Great Mosque of Djenne, located in Mali, Africa, on the floodlands of the Niger and Bani rivers, southwest of Timbuktu. Djenne is the oldest known city in sub-Saharan Africa. The city of Djenne was founded by merchants around 800 CE and acted as a meeting place for traders from the deserts of Sudan and the tropical forests of Guinea. Here, goods were transported in and out of Timbuktu, such as salt, gold, and slaves. The Great Mosque of Djenne was built in 1907 in place of the mosque built around the 13th century that had collapsed. The mosque dominated the center of the market where traders from all around the world would come and meet. The first Great Mosque of Djenne was built in the 13th century by Khoi Boro, who was Djenne's first Islamicized ruler. Later on, political and ideological conflicts occurred during the 19th century within the inland delta. This caused the abandonment of the old mosque, which fell into ruin. Then, during the Tukulur War from 1810 to 1818, Sekou Amadu conquered Djenne and disapproved of the condition of the 13th century mosque and had it closed to build another mosque nearby. Then, when Louis Archinard and his French forces conquered Djenne in April 1893, they destroyed Sekou Amadu's mosque and built a school in its place, while also building the current mosque of Djenne in place of the older one. The mosque is built on a raised rectangular base platform, about 3 meters high, made of sun-dried mud bricks held together by mud mortar and plastered over mud. This base is meant to prevent flooding from surrounding rivers. It is the largest mud brick building in the world, and by many architects is considered to be the greatest Sudano-Sahelian architectural style achievement, while also including Islamic influences. Sudano-Sahelian architectural style is characterized by mud bricks, plaster, and wooden support beams, things all evidently shown in the Great Mosque of Djenne. The walls range in thickness from 16 to 14 inches depending on their height. The large walls support the tall structure and also help to provide insulation from the sun's heat. Also, within the architecture are bundles of palm branches which were included to prevent cracking caused by constant changes in humidity and temperature, and also to act as scaffolding for annual repairs. The mosque has a prayer hall with 90 wooden pillars that support its ceiling. This hall can contain up to 3,000 people. The mosque also has roof vents with ceramic caps. Along the roof there are gutters made of ceramic pipes that come off from the roof line and lead water from the roof away from the walls. The front of the mosque has the same structure and building materials as a traditional house in Djenne, and includes 3 large towers that are topped with a spire covered by an ostrich egg that symbolizes fertility. The Great Mosque shows many architectural elements of Islamic mosques of this time, while also showing the aesthetics and materials used for centuries by the people of Djenne. It used local materials such as mud and palm wood, along with traditional architectural styles and adaptations to the hot climate. In present day, every spring, there is a festival in honor of replastering the Great Mosque. The festival is supervised by a group of 80 senior masons who also look over the repair and maintenance of the mosque. Before the festival, many citizens of Djenne work to prepare mud mixed with rice husk for the event. The festival is compared to a community fair with much enjoyment for all. Women and children bring water to the workers while the elderly sit and watch. There is also food and music provided during the festival that help to show the rich cultural event being presented. Altogether, the Great Mosque of Djenne represents many great architectural innovations along with rich culture of the city.
Brennan's the villain and you're just a hostage. So whenever I'm stepping, cover your head like an ostrich.